Welcome everybody to another stream, an hour of miniature goodness. Today I am painting the Gargantuan Red Dragon. Now this is the fourth miniature from Wizkids games that they've done for a large scale dragon. They've done the white dragon, they've done the green dragon, and they've done the skeleton dragon. So today I'm going to do the red dragon. If you want to see the other dragons from the Gargantuan line, then I have done videos. There's YouTube videos in the links below, and my YouTube channel I've done all the dragons so far, so this is the last one. So let me just show you the dragon first of all. It's a nice scale dragon. There is one thing with this dragon which I don't like, and that's this wing. This wing is folded over, and it makes it very, very hard to paint inside, especially if you're a beginner. It's really quite a toughie. So what I've done, I've given the whole dragon an undercoat with some red from Vallecca, and today we are using just a few different paints. We've got black, white, clear orange, green ochre, off-white, and of course our red. And our ink washes today are brown Agrax shade. Now it doesn't matter what paints you use, any acrylics from any company will do just as well, but I'm using these from Vallecca. Let me say hello to people in chat so far. We got Scorpio, of course, Umbro, hello Umbro, oh Mighty Lads of Games, hello, and we got the Bold GM. So let's make a start. Very simple paint today, and we're going to fly through this one. Now the first colour I'm going to use, because we've already got the base coat on, I thought I'd save myself tons of time by painting this first, is we're going for some clear orange. It's all dry brushing today. I do like my dry brushing. This makes it a very simple way to get the job done. Now, as you can see on this dragon, it's got lots and lots of spikes all over the head and the back and on the tail. It's quite a toughie. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on all those spikes first. So it's very simple. I'm going to try and hold the dragon, and I'll get rid of this turntable because I only wanted to show you the dragon. So straight away we're going into that orange, taking the orange off, and we're working on all the little spikes, super fast and easy. So everywhere where there's a little spiky scale sticking up, it's having a little bit of a orange applied. And of course along the tail here. Trying to keep it in camera for you all as well. So we're just working that orange onto all the pointy parts of the miniature. I mean, I'm doing this quite fast, you can take your time. I just want to show you how to quickly get the job done. Can everybody see it all right? Is it enough focus for you? Good, thank you. So we're just going to do all the little spikes with them on the legs. Yes, this wing here, I don't like the way it's bent over, because it really stops you from getting to all these parts inside, and that really doesn't make it an easy dragon to paint. It really is difficult. You can see how bent over it is. I don't like that on this miniature at all. It looks like it's melted. It just looks wrong for the miniature. It would look better if it was spread out. I don't like it like that. Still, there we are. We'll get through it. It just makes it very difficult to get the paint where you want it on that part of the dragon. Okay, so that's most of those bits done. Now what we're going to do is highlight those parts that I've just done. So we're going to get some white. And we're just going to mix a little bit of white in with that orange, just to lighten it up a little bit. And what we're going to do is go back over all those scales just at the tips, and that'll just highlight the tips of all these little spiky bits. Just quickly going over with our brush. This gives us a nice little two-tone of shades going along the spikes. It works really well. And when we add all our ink wash over the whole miniature, it all blends in very nicely. Yes, it probably is possible to bend the wing into shape, but like I say, this is how it comes out of the box. But it really, I mean, you can bend it a little bit, look, but it just goes back into shape. I don't know why it's like that. I think it's just to fit in the packaging, to be honest. Okay, so we've got some nice little highlights going along all the back there now, look, that's nice. Very simple and quick to do. So, okay, so let's move on to the next part. Some more tissue. So now we're going to the green ochre. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried doing any of the Wizkids plastic and re-sculpting the plastic, so I wouldn't know if it would work too. Right, I'm using a smaller dry brush for this one. And what we're going to do is go all up the chest scales, and this will be for the breastplate of the dragon. So we're just taking off the paint, leaving it quite heavy on the brush, and we're going up all the scales. And all the way around. There we are. Like I say, this is a very fast and easy dragon to paint. Just following the scales, going around. Very simple. And also on his feet as well. On the toes, and the same on this side. Again on the toes. So that's the chest and all the scales on the legs and the thighs. We've done all the spikes, added some highlights to the spikes, going down all the dragon. Now what we're going to do is just add a little highlight to all the red areas, and then we can do the ink wash. Now as this wing is very difficult to paint, all we're going to do for the highlight is add some red and some white, and just to make a lighter shade to go all over the red areas. Oh, pokey stick. Toesy Rosies, yes. Toesy Rosies Mighty Lancer Games. Remember, all the items that I use on my show you can buy from Mighty Lancer Games from their shop. And if you're a patron, you get 10% off all purchases from Mighty Lancer Games, which is very cool. Okay, what we're going to do is go back to the bigger brush, and we're going to add some red to the tissue and mix in some white onto my tissue just to lighten that up a little bit more. A nice cream. And again, very simply, all we're doing is we'll go over the whole of the red areas just to highlight the fingers and some of the areas. It's very quiet on here today. Everybody's having their lunch. Alright, see, this is the difficult part. We've got to try and get inside that wing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit more white out. Because I want to highlight that a little bit more inside the wing so it shows up better. It's a little bit too dark at the minute. So we're going to add a little bit more white to this red here. Take off the paint, and we've got to try and get inside that wing. So a bit of a squeeze, but we just slowly go over all the areas inside, just dragging that brush across, bringing out the details. As you can see, you can just see inside that wing now, it's starting to come out a little bit better. I'll just highlight some areas here a bit more. Around the scales, a little bit around the face. Or maybe, yes, maybe everybody's an hour wrong. Anyway, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's lovely that people have showed up. The only time I'd feel a little bit bad is if it's just me and Scorpler. So hopefully at least one person will turn up for my shows. Okay, so as you can see, this is the basic. All the shading is done on this dragon, and that's super fast and super quick. Now, what we do now is we add our agua shade or brown ink wash. Like I say, it doesn't matter which company you use, but you're looking for a brown ink wash. You can use black, but I found brown works really well for this actual miniature. Now, what I've done is a Blue Peter special, because we know the ink wash takes forever to dry. I've got one ready, prepared. So what I've done is I painted this one earlier before the show. I painted it exactly the same. Don't know if you can see that. They're both painted exactly the same. And what I've done, I've just added the ink wash to this one. So that's dry. So now we can carry on with the dragon, and we don't have to wait for that ink wash to dry. So that's so far so good and very simple. So now we can start detailing up the dragon. Let me just show you around. This is with a brown ink wash added, and of course all the areas that we highlighted to make it look. Yeah, here is one I made earlier. All the areas that I highlighted have now had that lovely ink wash. So what we do now is we go back over those areas with the same colours, just to highlight them a little bit more, because what's happened is that brown ink wash has really given some lovely shades to the whole miniature. So what we're doing now is just touching up the areas. We get the eyes and the teeth done, and all the little claws. But first we're going back into that orange. Let me get some more tissue actually, because I'm making a total mess here. Now I'm just using kitchen towel to do my dry brushing with. It's not the best quality one, but it does the job. It's better than toilet paper. So let me take a bit more orange out. Now all we're doing is highlighting the areas that we've already gone over. The same as when you do your miniatures, you'll go over the ink wash and then you'll go over with your original colour. So what we're doing is just adding some white to that orange, make it a beautiful orange. And what we can do is just do just the tips of each of these little spikes, just to give them a little highlight. I mean, using that ink wash it's given it that nice, as I call it, the burnt fiery look, as it's a red dragon. So what we're doing now is just highlighting the different areas, like I say, all around the tail area, just on the ends, just a little bit. Don't need a lot. It's just to touch up give it a little bit of light to the tips of these claws. I mean, that looks beautiful there. You've got a lovely contrast going along the tail. And we'll just add a bit more to the tips. Hello, Muse's Touch. So that's how you do a nice burny orangey tail. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the miniature. Like I say, it doesn't take long to paint a miniature. I mean, if you take out the drying time of the ink wash, you'll definitely get one done in an hour. How are you, Muse's Touch? You okay? I hope everybody's been doing their competition entries for the Halloween competition I got on Twitter. What's that? Yes, it is done in an hour. How can I be lying when it's live? My God, I can't lie when it's live on stream. Yes, I've seen some great entries so far for the competition. Very, very nice. Yes, remember to post your pictures underneath my pinned tweet on Twitter to enter your competition entries for the Halloween competition. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going back into that green ochre, and we're going back with a smaller brush, and we'll just go up the scales on the front of the dragon here, just a little bit. and this will just pick out and give it a lovely little effect. Beautiful, that's just what I wanted there. So all you're doing is, once you've added that ink wash, you're going back over the dragon with the colours you used initially and highlighting with the colours that you had to begin with. Very simple and easy, and it looks fantastic. Oh, you're doing the pumpkin golem. Awesome. Okay. That's lovely. Right, okay, that's that one done. Let's get his tongue done. So we're going to go for a nice pinky tongue. So we are going to wash our brushes. And we'll get the tongue done, then the teeth, then the eyes, and then the claws. And this little bad boy will be finished. So for the tongue, again, we're going to be going to white and the red, and we're going to make it a very light pink for this one. I will grab one of my little brushes. You will do fine. Actually, you will do. So what we've got is a little bit of red. We'll mix it on the palette here. I'm going to make it nice and light. And that'll be for the tongue. All we're looking is a shade just a little bit lighter than the red we've used for the actual dragon itself. So we'll go straight in the mouth and paint that tongue. There we are. Oops. If you make a mess, you can wipe it off with your thumb. There we are. Simple. Right, now we can get on with his teeth. Now, his teeth I'm going to use off-white. And then we can go over with the teeth with a brown ink wash. Oop, need my pokey stick again. Come on, paint, what's wrong with you? I know you're in there, come out. Oh, there you go. Great, now I've squirted too much out. It's either all or nothing sometimes with these squirty bottles. He's scared of the dragon. Have you? I suppose you guys have done that before, where you've tried to squeeze out the paint and then you squeeze it so hard the top pops off and you end up with paint everywhere. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that sometimes. I mean, even with the pokey stick, the paint sometimes still stays in the bottle. It's like, come out. Okay, for the teeth, I'm going to just get rid of this. For the teeth, I shall be using my masterclass brush, and I'll be doing the old trick which I showed you before, where we just go along the teeth, and we just go straight along, quick and simple. And once that has dried, we can go over those teeth with brown ink wash, and that'll give them a lovely little effect. Yeah, some of the paints on Bro are quite difficult, even with all the little gadgets like the pokey sticks and everything. You still find that you'll still find it's very difficult to get the paint out sometimes. So at the minute, this is with off-white. It still looks too bright for his teeth, but once we add that brown ink wash, that'll tone down the teeth and make them look dirty. And then all we do is we go over the tips of the teeth, and that'll give them a nice little worn look. Now what I'll do while I'm here with my white is I might as well use this off-white now, seeing that I've wasted half of it. I'll use the off-white for his eyes as well. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly go into the dragon's eyes and get them finished. Good. Okay, so we are flying through this dragon. How are we doing for time? See, it's only half past. It's only half past and we've nearly finished. Right, so now we're going to do all the black claws. I'm just going to let the teeth dry a little bit, then we can add that ink wash and we can finish off the eyes. But a very nice simple paint to get your dragons onto your tabletop. Okay, so what I've got here is some black, and this is just for all the claws. So I'm just going over all the claws on the whole of the miniature. I find black is a very nice effect for claws, and it does save a lot of work if you don't have to do anything to the black, and it looks very effective for your dragons and monsters. So we're going around all the places where there's a little claw on this dragon. So on the wing tips, little claws. On the feet there. It's quite hard to keep this in camera so you can all see what I'm doing. Here we go, we're trying to do it backwards. There we go. So we're going along the wing tips here. There's claws on each wing tip. So we're just going over with the black. Nice and simple. And it looks fab once it's on. Okay. Okay, there we go. You'll have to excuse all my fiddling. I'm trying to keep it so you can see what I'm doing on camera. Normally, if I was painting off camera, I'd have this up against my face like this, and I'll be painting nice and simple. But I'm trying to keep it on the table and paint it at the same time, so that doesn't make it easy. Well, everybody's talking about the clocks going back. I ended up waking up this morning at 3:30 when really it was would have been 4:30, but 3:30 I started work this morning. All my cats don't care, they still wanted their food. But yeah, the hour change is always difficult. Always difficult. Okay, so we're just flying around these, each one of these little claws. Hello, Red Wolf, how are you? So we're just moving on to the feet now. Just painting in all the little claws. There we go. Probably see it better that way. Okay. Nearly done. Again, we're just flying over all the little claws that are coming off the wings, and black works really well, especially if it's a fire dragon. There we are. Last two. Good. Have we missed anything there? As you can see, it's coming on absolutely beautiful now. All we've got to do is get those teeth toned down, because they are absolutely glowing at the minute. Thank you, Red Wolf. Okay, brown. So we've got some Agate Surf Shade, and all we're going to do is go straight over those teeth, and that'll tone them down a little bit. And it'll also make them look manky. Make them look manky teeth. Just like so. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to use my little cotton bud tip. This is my little cotton bud, and I'm just going to go over the tips of the teeth and take away some of that ink wash, and that'll give the tips of the teeth a nice edge where it's been biting little dwarfs and nibbling on nasty little creatures. There we are. Okay, so all we need to do now is get those eyes done. Now, eyes on the dragons are super simple, especially on this one. All we're going to do is we're going to do a little line down the eye, and we'll go around the eye with the ink, with the black, to darken off the eye. Now for this one I'm using Insane Detail brush. Once again, you can get all these brushes from Mighty Lancer Games. So for the eyeball, we're just having the tip of the brush with a tiny bit of paint. And what we're going to do is we'll do a line directly down the center. Let me see, I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me see, it's gonna be difficult. There we go. I'll do one a little bit so you can see, So we've got one line going straight down, like so, and then we're going around the eye with that black. And that will just highlight the eye. And it's done. And we'll do the same on the other side. We've got one little line down the centre of the eye. Like so. And then we go around the whole eye with the black, and this will make the eye stand out more with the dark shade going around the eye. We're going to add some black to the nostril, and we're going to add some black to the nostril on the other side. And that's about it. That's how simple it is to paint your red dragon for your tabletop games. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I base the dragon, because I think we've got enough time to quickly add some... Hello Carlos! See, people are turning up now. I'll be finishing. Okay, for the dragon, the base it comes on, it looks like it's a 100mm base, and you've got two little holes there, and it just clips on to your base. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add 2 drops of super glue to each one of these pegs. Yeah, so everybody's been saying they've all been messed up. I mean, like I say, I was up at 3:30 this morning instead of 4:30. Like I say, the cats didn't mind; they still wanted to have their food at the same time. So all we're doing is a little bit of super glue on each one. Boom, boom, done. And then we can just add that to our dragon. So, one on there. There we are. So that's our dragon on the base. Let me get my spinny wheelie thing out again. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some nice sandy gravel to this dragon. I mean, I think it looks fantastic for a quick 30-minute paint. Oh, that's what it is it Muse's Touch? Your clocks don't go back the same time as us in the UK. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought it was a lot quieter than normal today. Normally I have a few more people on. I mean, I know I've got 9 or 10 people watching, which is fantastic. I'm not doubting that. I'm always happy when people join the stream, but it's normally a couple more, so I'm assuming the clocks have been totally messed up everybody today. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do for the sand. I'm sure you'll get more in the future, Carlos. I mean, look at that video you did the other day. Was it 2,000 views on one of your videos, Carlos? You should be so proud of yourself. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay. To base your miniatures, a quick tutorial basing guide. Now, what I got here is my mega sandbox. There we are, mega sandbox. Now, this one I have to be careful with. If any cats get in my room, you know what they're going to use this for. And it's not for basing their miniatures. Okay, so what we do, we got some nice sand from the local beaches, and I've mixed it with some small stones and little pebbles and shells and all sorts of nice things to go on the base. Now, of course, we always paint over our sand anyway, so what you're after is a texture. So if you just use sand by itself, it's too boring. So add in little stones and tiny little pebbles. It just gives a bit more texture to your base, and it'll actually make it pop more than just having plain sand over the whole thing. So what we need now is one of these little tubs. This is from my blister packs. I always like to use all my stuff and not waste anything, so the bubble packs that my miniatures come in, I like to use them to put all my glue in. So we got some PVA glue. This is just your basic PVA glue from the craft store. Now, since the lockdown and all this horrible thing happening in the world, I've actually stopped going to my local craft store because it's in a big shopping mall. So everything I'm buying now is online, or like, again, I keep on saying Mighty Lancer Games, but the thing with it is, because of the way things are at the minute, online shopping is going to be more and more popular. So I've been buying big tubs of PVA glue from Amazon and all sorts of stuff. And it's a shame because all these small businesses are struggling now because nobody wants to go out. I don't want to go out. I'm too scared to go out of the damn house now. I mean, if you're safe, then, you know, that's great. But it is a scary thing that's going on, and it's different parts of the world. It's different. I mean, I just seen there Muse's touch about going out and having the thing with the kids. I mean, that's fantastic, and there's nothing wrong in doing all that. It's as long as you do it in like 2 or 3 people. You know, you don't have a whole gang of you totally sucking in the germs. You know. I mean, for the older people, I suppose it's worse than for the younger people. Yes, we used to carve turnips instead of pumpkins. Okay, let me get back to this quickly. Now, so far, this is what we've done today with the dragon. All I got to do now is add some PVA glue to the base and add a sandy base to this miniature. There's nothing more I can do after that because we've got to wait for the sand to dry, and I haven't got another one which I finished the base on. So let me get so I can actually see. I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. Stay there, Mr. Sand Tub. I will use my round table to add the PVA glue. So a nice thick layer of PVA glue onto our plastic, going all the way around the miniature. Now, PVA glue, you can use your brushes. I wouldn't recommend it on your best brushes, but it is water based. You can wash it off very simply with water, so it won't ruin your best brushes. But I wouldn't recommend using your best brushes for adding PVA glue. Get some nice cheap ones from the pound shop. So we're just going around the whole base with our PVA glue, nice and thick. Get it right underneath the claws if you can. Make sure there's no gaps in the glue. You want the whole base covered. And then all we do is we get our sandbox back up. And we can put our dragon into the sandbox and give it a little flick. Add all that lovely sand and stones to the base of the dragon. Give it a little tap off all the excess sand. Hello, Andy! Now to finish off the base, all we do is we get rid of my beard hair and we just use our little thumb to go around the rim of the base. There we go. Now what we're doing now is on some areas you'll find the sand has gone over, so we can just flick the sand off with our brushes. There we are. Now you can either let that dry on a radiator or you can let it just dry natural air. And that's us done. Absolutely fantastic. So this is how I paint my red dragon, and once again I'll show you the before and after. So what we've done today, I'll give you a quick recap of what we've done and how simple it was, and if you don't have to wait for your ink wash to dry, we've painted this whole dragon in an hour, so that's not bad at all. So all I've done first of all is I covered the dragon with my red, so that's the primer coat of red, and then we've gone over all the claws with orange, and then we've added some white to that orange to go over the parts of the claws there, and then I've added some more red and some white together. So we've gone over all the wings, some dry brushing over all the wings, very simple. And for the main body we've used some green ochre, and we've just dry brushed the green ochre up the base and all the stomach areas and the knees and the feet of the dragon. So this is how far we got to at the beginning of the show. Now all I did then was add brown ink wash to the whole miniature. So the whole miniature had a brown ink wash, and then it came back like so. Let's get closer. Now this is what I did afterwards. So what's happened here is we've got the brown ink wash has dried on the whole of the miniature, and then what we did, we went back with the orange and went over all those areas of the highest peaks on all these spikes and made them show up lovely. They've got a lovely kind of a flamey glowy orange effect going around the whole of the tail. I really like that. With the teeth we've added some off-white for the teeth, pink for the tongue, black and white for the eyes, and all the claws were painted in with the black. And that's it. All we got to do is wait for our base to dry. What I'll do with the base is I will cover the base in either a grey or a brown paint. If it was a grey, I'll add a black ink wash to that, and then I'll highlight over the grey, and that'll give a really nice stone effect. With the brown, I'd add some greens and some browns, and then I'll add some grass tufts, depending if I want this dragon to be into a cave or I want it into the woods. You could add some nice flock into the base with some leaves. Yeah, the sand will all be primed. Like I say, I've only just added it, so I can't do any more to that now because it's just been added with that PVA glue. So there we are, super simple. I hope you enjoyed this little show on how I painted my little Gargantuan red dragon. Very fast and simple and ready for my tabletop games. If you've got any questions, please ask now. thank you all for popping on. I know it's been a bit of a mess with all the time zones and stuff, but there's still quite a few of you turned up today, and I am really grateful, and it's fantastic that you come and support me in what I'm doing.